This one.
Yes, ma'am. I'm here. Am I audible?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, you are audible. Please speak.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I'll just share my screen.
Please start.
Yes.
We can present.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to speak upon the topic of my paper presentation is an inquiry into the outlook towards the teaching learning of minority languages in Goa. The whole universe would have been curious about the results of the political issue over medium of instruction in the state of Goa for past many years. The tension between the two communities over the language is no greater to be appreciated. The demand for any selective language as the medium of instruction in the state in which the population of non-native speaker is much higher is unethical. Before raising the conflicts, one should be aware of the total number of communities speaking various languages and how these languages form to be the richness of India. We all know that India is a country far richer than any other countries of the world in terms of languages which are included and clearly discussed in the 8th schedule of the Constitution of India. So we all know that 8th schedule of the Constitution of India consists of two categories of languages, that is scheduled languages and non-scheduled languages, and all these languages from the Constitution are being spoken in various communities. Okay, we are not aware of it. Then the objectives of the study are to explore the total population of scheduled language speakers in Goa, to investigate into the total number of minority communities in Goa, to investigate the attitude towards language teaching in the primary, secondary, graduate and postgraduate levels of education in Goa, to compare the attitudes of Konkani and Marathi speakers towards the present medium of instruction in educational institutes, to bring forth the issues and problems regarding Sanskrit teaching in Goa. And the last one is to analyze the views of native speakers on including minority languages in Goan educational institutions. Research methodology. Qualitative cum quantitative research was conducted using the survey method of research with survey research design. The tools used for the inquiry were survey questionnaire covering sample size of 100. The sample size was minimum due to some limitations. Okay, so the data collection was undertaken with the help of primary as well as secondary sources, which included surveys, different surveys and Census of India 2011. Then I'll be speaking upon the findings. You can just read here from the slides, and important ones I will discuss. The survey questionnaire was responded by 100 respondents, and they were between the age group of 15 to 58 years, including 37% males and 53% females. So out of the 100 respondents, 49% speak Konkani, 31% speak Marathi, and 1% speak Hindi and Malwani, that is the regional language of Maharashtra. So the opinions about the changes or improvements in teachers teaching their home language in the schools of Goa were recorded. So here is the report. The home language should be taught in simple manner, and the teacher teaching the home language should understand the English language. Students should be made more aware about the language, and more information should be provided about the language. More innovative techniques should be used by teachers while teaching the subject. The teachers need to improve their literature so that the students will be able to study the language clearly. There is no concern for Konkani in Goa, and no proper teachers, and negligence can be observed towards the mother tongue. So this was said by most of the people. The teachers must be well versed in the particular language and compel students to talk in particular language during his or her class. Communication, conversation, comprehension should also be stressed upon. Then the teacher should be fluent in the language in which he or she is teaching, and also she has to be perfect in the literature of that particular language which she or he is teaching. Okay. Now they also suggested some issues regarding the teaching of Sanskrit language in the schools of Goa. So the thing is, many of the schools are having the Sanskrit subject, but they cannot find the teachers having been trained in the Sanskrit language. Okay. So Sanskrit subject should be made compulsory for all students in Goa, according to some respondents. They shouldn't be told to answer Sanskrit paper, but to answer normal 5 to 10 marks tests. As we have an option to choose Sanskrit, and because of the fact that many of us do not know this language, we try to avoid this option and take other languages. Okay, so the availability of Sanskrit subject is not provided in all the secondary as well as higher secondary schools in Goa. Therefore, the students are getting admitted into other private classes. Sanskrit should be made a compulsory subject. No importance is given to ancient languages in Goa, according to most of the respondents. Not everyone will need Sanskrit in the future. However, Sanskrit may be added as an alternative in the third language category. Some people also said that this language is very grateful for India. We should be allowed to learn it in colleges and schools, which is not happening in specifically in the state of Goa. Okay, so we need to create more Sanskrit teachers in Goa who can make Sanskrit teaching easy and playful. Also, the stigma that Sanskrit is dead should be removed from students and parents' mind, because there is a responsibility over the future generation to preserve our culture, to preserve our languages. Okay, and keep on updating the languages, keep on telling the people that how ancient languages are important to us. Okay, so students may not have any better information regarding the language, so it would have taken time to teach them, as we have to translate it to their mother tongue and then explain the whole content. Actually, this is a very good method of learning languages, okay? Because we are very perfect in our mother tongue, and this creates a foundation. If our mother tongue is perfect, then we can learn any type of language. Because the most important point I would like to read here is the last one. That is, the respondents felt that all the other state languages are needed to be included and taught in the schools of Goa. Because some also felt that there is no need for all Indian languages, as Sanskrit is enough, as it is a mother language for all Indian languages. A few of the respondents do not feel the need to include the languages spoken all over India in Goan schools. Instead, a student can enroll for linguistic course as per interest for future communication. Some felt that languages of neighboring states be included and taught in schools of Goa, as this shall be very much useful in commercial point of view. Some respondents gave importance to Kannada language because Karnataka being a neighboring state, there is a need to have some basic knowledge about their language, and Bengali. One respondent specified Bengali because we find very great literary works in Bengali language. Okay, so these were the findings. There were also some suggestions given by the respondents. The most significant factor is regarding medium of instruction issue in Goa. So therefore, according to the responses, it is clear that the people of Goa are more inclined towards improving their decision-making skills in students by providing them with the freedom of choosing the languages they want to make career in. So therefore, from primary level of education, choice-based system regarding the languages should be provided. So regarding Sanskrit language, there are suggestions. Sanskrit should be made compulsory in all the educational institutions of Goa, as we cannot neglect the responsibility of preserving our ancient languages. Nevertheless, NEP 2020 has a clause of making various options available to students with regard to the 22 scheduled languages of India. To conclude, I would say that The interest and language developing skills need to be undertaken to preserve and promote the original identity of India. It's true that the minority language communities are increasing, but this fact is of a great concern. Majority of the Indian states have the communities speaking various languages. Few of these languages are also included in the respective state board, but it is not only limited to the academic learning. As a human being, learning more than a few languages increases our communication. We may go anywhere on the top of the world. Being a polyglot is a key to be connected and attached to our nation. India is a multi-religious, multilingual society, and this distinctness will keep us united. All the scheduled as well as non-scheduled languages are required to be made accessible. The ignorance towards a particular language or a community is the sign that affects a healthy democracy. Okay, so these are some of the references for my paper. Thank you very much.
You have completed your presentation on time exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Now,
Thank you, ma'am.
Next presenter is Bhim Pada Mahato. Bhim Pada Mahato is here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you have 10 minutes time for your presentation.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you are audible. Okay, Bhim.
Just a minute, ma'am. I am proceeding my slide. I am opening my ma'am.
Okay.
Is slide is visible, ma'am?
No, not yet. Yes, it's visible.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, giving that opportunity to me, and thank you to all the organizers. So my topic is the present and future of Kudmai language. Basically, that language is belong to from the Jharkhand and the Odisha and West Bengal, as well as some part of the Chhattisgarh and Assam and Tripura and Shillong also. And outside of the Tripura, it is some person are speaking in the Bangladesh and Mauritius and Nepal also. Basically, that language is a mother tongue of one particular community, that Kudmi Kabila community, in East India. And this community is found in a major part of the Jharkhand and different region of West Bengal, Odisha, Assam, Tripura, Chhattisgarh. And out of the nation, it is also that some speakers are in Bangladesh, Nepal, and Mauritius. And basically, this language is belong to a category of that particular caste, that is known as Kudmi. And also that some part of the Kurmi also, but there is a confusion between Kudmi and Kurmi. Kurmi, that people are saying that is come from Aryan, and that is the Kudmi from Dravid community. Then objective of that my study on this one, to know the present status of Kudmi language and the Kudmi community, and to ever all the stakeholder to promote their language and to analyze the status of Kudmali language speaker with the record and physical status, and to develop and promote the Kudmali through primary to higher education, and to discuss the role of various agencies in the development of Kudmali and other regional or tribal languages. So that methodology we have used on that one, that based on the primary and secondary data both ones, the result and discussions. We are coming that as per the census 2011, that particular language has put under the code of Kudmali Thar, that is 006345. On the basis of that one, and the Bihar, basically that Kudmali language is speaker are 103, their mother tongue, and Jharkhand only the 43, and West Bengal 2,80,226, and Assam 1,919, and Odisha 9,52, and Chhattisgarh 9, and rest of the India and outside that 823. So that is total 3,11,175. But basically, while we are good for the Jharkhand here only the 43. But we'll go to the Jharkhand, we'll found that that language is basically that PG level, all the universities, state university, they are running that language. And Kolar University, Chaibasa, Ranchi University, and Then Dr. Syama Prasad Mukherjee University, Ranchi, and Marwadi College, or that a total already passed out student at 290, and is still the running student 180, and overall student in PG level 470. This is the state of Jharkhand. And graduate from all University of India in Kudumali. That is basically that different university of one University of West Bengal and remaining University of Jharkhand passed out 1,158 and present student at 1,680. And in the intermediate level in Jharkhand 7,500 and matric 6,000 and MPhil 6 and PhD already awarded in that particular language 34 students, and that PhD ongoing are 13 students in that from all universities. But in the Jharkhand the population speakers are 91 lakh, majority of the part. But as per the census only 43 speakers in their mother tongue. So that what is the reason behind it? The maximum populations are living there that particular language as a mother tongue, and they are converting themselves in the other language as mother tongue. If it is not there, then it is a question mark on the census of the survey of India. Only the 43 having that mother tongue, and the majority of the population, and 91 lakh in the Jharkhand, and the remaining part total 264 crore, 2 crore 64 lakh people are over there. Along with the Bangladesh and Nepal's. So that is now that particular community like a football, and the major part is empty. That like in Jharkhand, they are changing. What is the reason behind it? What we have found that Kudumali language is going to be a minority language in the central region of this language. That means in the Jharkhand, and not only Kudumi, many communities are accepting other language as their mother tongue on that language also. So that Kudumi community mother tongue is not only Kudumali. This languages belong to the other community language also. So that maybe the speaker of Kudumali is more than that one, whatever we have shown over here. But again, that as a mother tongue in Jharkhand, that is only 43. So then now, as a conclusion and suggestion, I want to discuss that basically that introduce the Kudumali language as a medium of instruction in mass population of Kudumali speaker region, and all the stakeholder of Kudumali language should come forward to develop the textbook from pre-primary to higher education, so they can help the student and they can promote in that basically that region of Jharkhand. And this language should be the part of departmental examination of state as well as the central and semi-government employee of the particular region in their promotion, and as well as their any types of increment. Then they will give more emphasis on that one. And NCERT and SCERT should provide proper training to the teachers to develop the textbook on that particular language. But very sorry to say, still that SCERT is not functioning in the Jharkhand last 20 years, and the state and central agencies should take the accountability. So either we are able to develop or not. So thank you for that much from my side.
Speaker is Dr. Rosie Yumna. No, Jaybir Singh. Jaybir Singh.
Yes, ma'am. I'm ready, ma'am.
Okay, so please.
ओके हाँ, क्या सभी मुझे सुन पा रहे हैं? नहीं, हेलो,
आप शुरू करिए।
हेलो,
शुरू कर, सुनाई दे रहे हैं।
आप शुरू करिए,
थैंक यू।
सब सुन रहे हैं आपको।
देखिए, मेरा जो पेपर प्रेजेंटेशन का जो टॉपिक है वो है शिक्षण अन्वेषण क्षेत्रीय भाषाओं में और मातृभाषा में और कामकाज अंग्रेजी भाषा में भारत की वर्तमान पीढ़ी वर्तमान एवं भावी पीढ़ी के साथ भाषाई संघर्ष। हकीकत में ये संघर्ष क्या है? सबसे पहली बात आती है कि हम संघर्ष की बात क्यों करते हैं कि जब भाषा का मुद्दा आता है तो सबसे पहले मैं एक बात बहुत कॉन्फिडेंटली कहूंगा कि जो हम सिखाते हैं या जिस भाषा में हम सिखाते हैं वही बच्चा या वही व्यक्ति क्या करता है, सीखता भी है। ये क्लियर है। हम विद्यालयों में मातृभाषा क्षेत्रीय भाषाओं को बढ़ाने की बात करते हैं हम अपनी पॉलिसीज के अनुसार, चाहे वो न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी 2000 हो, 2005 हो, 86 हो, ये उससे पहले की बात भी हो। परंतु जहां पे हम कहीं पे जॉब रिक्वायरमेंट की बात होती है, प्लेसमेंट की बात होती है, वहां पे हमारी जो प्रायोरिटी होती है वहां पे हम अंग्रेजी भाषा को देते हैं। तो फिर इस प्रकार से जो भारत का जो युवा है, जो बच्चा है, उसके साथ इस प्रकार का खिलवाड़ क्यों? क्यों ना उसको, जब हमें आवश्यकता अंग्रेजी की है तो हम उसको अंग्रेजी पढ़ाएं। क्यों हम उसको क्षेत्रीय भाषाओं में और मातृभाषा में उलझाए हुए रखा हुआ है? ठीक है, हालांकि बात ये भी है कि मातृभाषा में उसको बोलना आता है, उसको समझ में आता है, वो सीख बहुत अधिक अच्छे से सकता है। पर जब हमारे पास उसके लिए उस प्रकार की कोई अप्रोच नहीं है, उस भाषा की यूजेबिलिटी नहीं है, और जब हम उस भाषा को वैल्यू नहीं देते हैं तो ऐसी भाषा को कैरिकुलम में रखने का क्या मतलब, और वो भी मीडियम ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शन में। तो इन कुछ सवालों के साथ मैं अपने आप को यहाँ पे रखूंगा। तो सबसे पहली बात तो ये आती है, क्यों आज सक्षम वर्ग अपने बच्चों को सरकारी हिंदी या स्थानीय सरकारी विद्यालयों में प्रवेश क्यों नहीं दिलाते हैं? क्या कारण है कि वो नहीं दिलाते हैं? सीधी सी बात है कि आज के जमाने में जब चौवनी और अठन्नी का प्रचलन जो बंद हो गया है, उनकी कोई वैल्यू रही नहीं है, तो उनको स्टोर करके क्या फायदा है? और सक्षम वर्ग ये हर हाल में जानता है कि आज की डेट में जो स्थानीय भाषाएं हैं, क्षेत्रीय भाषाएं हैं, चाहे वो हिंदी हो या अदर मदर टंग हो, उनकी उपयोगिता नहीं है। अगर उपयोगिता है तो अंग्रेजी क्या है? तो वो अंग्रेजी को ही अपने बच्चों को दिलाएगा ना कि वो आज की डेट में कोई भी वो हिंदी या अदर जो हमारे पास जो क्षेत्रीय लैंग्वेज है, मदर टंग्स हैं, स्थानीय भाषा हैं, उनको पढ़ाएगा। क्योंकि बच्चा वही सीखेगा जो उसको सिखाया जाएगा। आप उसको हिंदी में सिखाओगे तो हिंदी में सीखेगा, अंग्रेजी में सिखाओगे तो अंग्रेजी में सीखेगा। और एक बात भाषा के विषय में मैं भी ये बहुत अच्छे से जानता हूँ कि भाषा वो होती है जो भाष्य होती है, यानी कि जो बोले जाती है। और भाषा का सीखने का सबसे अच्छा तरीका भी यही है कि उसको बोलकर सीखा जाए। जितनी ज्यादा हम क्या करते हैं, जितना ज्यादा हम कम्युनिकेशन जिस भाषा में करते हैं, उतनी ज्यादा मैच्योर हम क्या करते हैं, उस भाषा में होते हैं। तो सक्षम वर्ग अपने आप में जानता है। सेकंड पॉइंट, जब मातृभाषा हिंदी भाषा या स्थानीय भाषा में शिक्षण अधिगम बहुत अच्छा है, तो फिर उनमें प्राप्त ज्ञान की गुणवत्ता, शिक्षा की मतलब प्राप्त ज्ञान की गुणवत्ता क्यों नहीं है? ये बहुत बड़ा है। हम देखते हैं, अगर हम अपनी बात करें या कि कहीं पे भी देखें कि अगर आपने कुछ भी क्षेत्रीय भाषा या हिंदी भाषा या स्थानीय भाषा में आपने कुछ कहा है तो वो अनवैल्यूड है। अगर आपने अंग्रेजी में कुछ गलत सा भी बोल दिया है, उसको सामने वाले को समझ में नहीं आया है, उसकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग उतनी नहीं है, तो वो गुणवत्तापूर्ण है, वो क्वालिटी एजुकेशन है उसके पास। पर जिसने स्थानीय भाषा में अपना जीवन गुजारा है, उसके पास क्वालिटी एजुकेशन नहीं है। इसमें भाषा की क्या भूमिका है? तो हकीकत में ये भी है कि चाहे जो विद्वान वर्ग है या जो अपने आप में सक्षम वर्ग है, वो अपने बच्चों को सरकारी विद्यालयों में प्रवेश नहीं दिलाता है। आप कितने ही, चाहे पूरे देश भर में कितने भी यूनिवर्सिटी के प्रोफेसर्स को देख लीजिए या किन्हीं को भी देख लीजिए, किन्हीं एक का बच्चा भी आज की डेट में सरकारी विद्यालयों में अध्ययनरत नहीं है। उसका सीधा कारण है, वो व्यक्ति जानता है, वो इतना बुद्धिमान है, उसको पता है कि भविष्य की और वर्तमान की नीड क्या है। उसको पता है कि आज के बच्चे को भाषा में उलझाना एक बेवकूफी है। देश को भले ही उलझाया जा सकता है, परंतु अपने बच्चे को नहीं, बाकी सब बच्चों को उलझाया जा सकता है। इसलिए वो अपने आप में क्या करता है, डरता है। इसलिए वो आगे, आखिर सरकारी विद्यालयों को बंद कराने का दोषी कौन है? इसमें भाषा की क्या भूमिका है? अक्सर अगर आप देखें तो मोस्टली सरकारी स्कूलों की जो बात होती है वो बंद होने की बात होती है। आज ये प्राइमरी स्कूल हुआ है, मिडिल स्कूल बंद हुआ है, या कोई हायर सेकेंडरी स्कूल बंद हुआ है, यहाँ तक कि आज की डेट में कुछ जो विश्वविद्यालय हैं, यूनिवर्सिटीज हैं, वो भी बंद होने के कगार पे हैं।
अच्छा, मेरा रिक्वेस्ट है,
क्योंकि वहां पे क्या है कि नंबर ऑफ स्टूडेंट की जो,
हेलो जयवीर जी,
बताइए
आप आपका इतना एलाबोरेशन नहीं, आपका पॉइंट जो फोकस पॉइंट पावर पॉइंट प्रेजेंटेशन में दिए हैं उतना कहिए, उसको एलाबोरेट मत करिए। बाकी पार्टिसिपेंट्स के पास टाइम नहीं है। हाँ,
ओके सर, ओके सर।
आपके पास 2 मिनट टाइम।
इसी के साथ अगला जो क्वेश्चन है तो इस प्रकार से कि आज तक की जो शिक्षा नीतियां बहुत अच्छे हैं, तो बुद्धिजीवी वर्ग, विद्वान वर्ग, नीतिदार अपने बच्चों का प्रवेश गैर सरकारी विद्यालयों में क्यों करवाते हैं, सरकारी विद्यालयों में क्यों नहीं करवाते हैं? इसमें भाषा की क्या भूमिका है, ये मैंने अपने पेपर में चर्चा की है। और इसी के साथ जब गुणवत्तापूर्ण शिक्षा शिक्षक आप देते हैं, यानी कि जो देश की जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं वो देती हैं, तो फिर हम लोग अपने बच्चों का प्रवेश गैर सरकारी संस्थानों में क्यों करवाते हैं? इसमें भाषा की क्या भूमिका हो सकती है, इस बारे में मैंने अपने पेपर में दिया है। और इसी के साथ जो अगली बात है उसमें है कि जब समझ अपने आप में स्थानीय भाषा, मातृभाषा में बहुत अच्छी आती है, तो गुणवत्तापूर्ण शिक्षा अंग्रेजी में क्यों है, और हिंदी एवं स्थानीय भाषा माध्यमों की शिक्षा की गुणवत्ता क्यों नहीं है? इसको भी मैंने पेपर में डिस्कशन किया है। और इस पेपर को बनाने में मैंने ये राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति 2020 और राष्ट्रीय पाठ्यक्रम रूपरेखा 2005 और राष्ट्रीय विद्यालय शिक्षा 2000 और राष्ट्रीय पाठ्यक्रम प्रारंभिक एवं माध्यमिक शिक्षा 1986 को लिया है। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ धन्यवाद। अगर आपका कोई प्रश्न हो तो आप पूछ सकते हैं।
नहीं, प्रश्न बाद में है।
अभी नहीं है, प्रश्न बाद में है, लेकिन मेरा रिक्वेस्ट है सारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स को कि मॉडरेटर जितना समय आपको कहने के लिए कहते हैं उसको कहिए। और यहाँ एक सब बुद्धिजीवी वर्ग हैं, आप जो एक सेंटेंस कहते हैं या जो प्रेजेंटेशन करते हैं उसको सुनकर समझने के लिए सबका सामर्थ्य है, तो उसको ज्यादा इलाबोरेट करने की और जरूरत नहीं, क्योंकि सारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स को समान अधिकार देना है।
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So, next speaker, Dr. Rosie Yumna.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'm ready.
Please start.
Is my screen visible, madam?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Hello, everyone. I'm Rosie Yumnam from IFLU Shillong. It's indeed a pleasure to be presenting my paper here in this national webinar. Thank you, Honorable Chair, respected lead speaker, and esteemed moderator, rapporteurs, and organizers. The title of my paper is The Role of the Puyas in the Reconstruction of Meitei Mayek. Well, I've structured my presentation in the following points. I'll go with the first point, education in minority language. I have put up a quote by Kepo Torti. Well, I'll not be going in detail. The salient feature of this definition is the willingness to preserve the members' culture, traditions, religion, or language. Many languages of the world have become endangered. The simple reason is that they are not simply passed from generation to generation. Therefore, education in minority languages is pertinent to uphold the status and further develop and preserve that minority language. Additionally, language serves as a vital cultural component for the existence of a community. In this context, Pollock argues that culture can mean language which is considered as one of its features, and this language is taken in relation to literature. Now coming to Meitei Mayek and the Puyas. Manipuri language is used as the lingua franca of the plains and the hill people of Manipur. The 71st Amendment of the Indian Constitution in 1992 has included the Manipuri language in the 8th schedule. However, according to the UNESCO's Atlas on Endangered Languages 2009, Manipuri language has been named as vulnerable, hence the pertinent need to work on its sustainability. The two writing systems of Manipur are Manipuri before 19th century, which is written in ancient Meitei Mayek, that is the Manipuri script, and modern Manipuri in the late 18th century, which is written in Bengali script. So Meitei Mayek is the script which was used to write Manipuri till the 18th century. The revival of Meitei Mayek started around the year 1940s. In the present day, the ancient Meitei Mayek has been revived and is studied as part of academic curriculum in the schools and colleges of Manipur. The success of the reconstruction of Meitei Mayek is a result of a thorough research of the various epigraphic sources and the Puyas. So what are the Puyas? They are the ancient written manuscripts of the Meiteis, and they deal with diverse subjects, religion, rituals, genealogy, and so on and so forth. So this is an example of a Puya, and this is the ancient Meitei Mayek, which has been revived in the present day. Now coming to the objectives of my paper, first one is to examine the narratives of the Puyas in reconstructing Meitei Mayek, and second, to explore the use of the Puyas for an sustainable education of Meitei Mayek. I have adopted an analytical method. Now coming to findings and discussions, the first point is early Meitei writing. There are different views about the origin and growth of the Meitei writing system. According to NAUREM, the origin of Meitei writing system can be traced from the movement of the alphabet through the medium of religion, trade, or war across borders. Conversely, Singh observed that there was a possibility of the Manipuri language developing on its own, as was evident from an account of the Puya. Here Puya comes into play. The Puya, Mayek, Laisak, Khangba. So it is further described as that the alphabets consisting of 35 in numbers are placed in 7 rows, each of 5 letters, and it is believed that the 7 days of the week is represented by the first letters of each of the 7 rows. Now, so Meitei Mayek holds the key to the history of Meitei civilization. Then coming to the second point, that is Puyas and the history of Meitei Mayek. Well, the Puyas like Nongpok Haram, Nongchup Haram, Poiroitun Kunthok, and Bamon Kunthoklon, they are the Puyas which accounts the migration of various people from different directions to Manipur. The study of the migration of the Brahmanas is a very important aspect of the history of Manipur, as it traces the gradual transformation of the Meiteis' religious history from ancestor worship to Hinduism. Then, according to Irengbam, the advent of Hinduism, which took place during King Pamheba's reign among the Meiteis, created an influential drive to cultural pluralism. Furthermore, the unjust mass burning of the Puyas, called Puya Maithaba, which was in the year 1732, at the historic fort in Imphal, Kangla, at King Pamheba's order, in the process of embracing Hinduism, induced the near extinction of Meitei Mayek. So after this incident, Bengali script replaced Meitei Mayek while writing the Manipuri language. Gradually, the intellectual written inheritance of the Meiteis in the form of Puyas, which forms the genesis of the Meitei culture, slowly faded away from the public. Now, scholars started to campaign for a revival of Meitei Mayek from around 1940s, and so Meitei Mayek was revived with 18 alphabets. It was reconstructed, and this was possible due to a thorough study of these Puyas, Wakoglol Tilel Salai Amalon Pukok, Wakoglol Tilel Salai Singka. And now the present Meitei Mayek contains 27 basic letters, as 9 letters which are derivatives of the previous 18 alphabets were also added. So, more recently, Meitei Mayek is studied as a part of academic curriculum in the schools and colleges of Manipur. It is therefore evident that the success of the reconstruction of Meitei Mayek is a result of a thorough research of the Puyas. Now, having said this, coming to the role of the Puyas in the education of Meitei Mayek, this is my last point. So in the schools of Manipur, Meitei Mayek is studied as a major Indian language from classes 1 to 8. As the ancient script has been reconstructed, it's an uphill task to orient the learners with relevant materials for effective language teaching. Here, I would like to bring in Paul. Paul argued that the study of literature and language teaching can be viewed as social practice. And to understand it, the discourse of the context and literature with its participants, being instructors, learners, or other, needs to be analyzed. Concurrently, he argued that a well-crafted and effective implementation of the literature and language pedagogies can help promote cultural awareness. So in this context, I contend that the Puyas can be therefore used to integrate the teaching of Meitei Mayek as well as to enhance the awareness of culture and values, as the Puyas abound in various tools of folk culture, oral traditions, proverbs, maxims, literature, legends, prose, poetry, and so on and so forth. Now, some of the Puyas which I have mentioned here, Poiritan Kuntog, Karol, Sanama Hilaihui, Pantui Bikongkul, China Rol, Hizan Hirao. These are some of the Puyas which we can use to integrate the teaching of Meitei Mayek, the language and culture and values in a fun way so that it enhances their motivation level. Now, coming to the conclusion. So the collective experiences of the Meiteis are defined in the Puyas, which further strengthens the process of reconstruction of Meitei Mayek. The Puyas thus nurture a vast canvas for giving a new approach to reconstructing Meitei Mayek. Education in minority language is vital to preserve and sustain that minority language. It is therefore evident from the preceding deliberations that the Puyas play an indispensable role to further preserve and sustain the education process of Meitei Mayek. That is all. Thank you all for your patient listening.
Question answer session is separately we're keeping. So no questions now. So we're not questions from. So next speaker. Yesterday, Dr. Lianboy Wai was supposed to present, but due to some problem, it was replaced by someone. So today, now we'll invite Dr. Lianboy Wai and Dr. Kelson Kim. So who will be presenting? I think Lianboy Wai will be presenting. So Lianboy, are you here? Are you connected with us?
Yes, I'm connected. Yes.
Please.
Yes. Can I share my screen with you all?
No, not yet.
Okay, if I can't share my screen.
Mr. Shah, if she cannot share this slides, she can present. She can read it out.
Yeah, I can read it out. It's okay, no issues. I'll just read it out. Just give me 2 minutes.
Hello, Mr. Shah, are you here?
Yeah, I am here. Yeah.
Okay, so I think she can present that way, because she cannot share the slides. So she
Yeah,
can
no problem. Any method they apply. Orally.
Okay, I'll just read it out. No issues. I had prepared the slides. Good morning, everyone. It's a unfortunately I could not present yesterday because we had a very important meeting with the college principal, as a result of which I had asked for a shift of my date today. My paper, as you all know, it's about the inquiry into the language learning in the society and culture of Waipai. In the present day age of globalization, where language learning is one of the biggest challenges, especially among the minorities and marginalized communities such as tribes from the Northeast India, we see a big challenge, and therefore I would like to study this in the context of the Waipai community. And the Waipai is one of the tribes, one of the scheduled tribes recognized under the government of India. It has been found in the Waipais settled in all parts of the northeastern states except for Arunachal and Sikkim. Majority of them are there in Manipur, Nagaland, Mizoram, Assam, North Kachar Hills parts of Assam, as well as in Meghalaya and Tripura. Now, when we're talking about it, I would like to just give a small brief introductions about the Waipai. I hope I'm audible. I'm audible to all.
Yes. Clearly. Please go on. Go ahead.
Yeah. Can you adjust your camera? We cannot see you. Can you adjust your camera a little so that we can see your face?
Yeah. Can you see me?
Not perfectly now, only half.
Yeah. Can you see me now?
Yes.
Yeah. So what has happened is that they have seen since it's all like in all the tribes of the Northeast, the Vaipais have also used the Roman alphabets for their scripts, and they have witnessed a lot of revivalism of the languages from their own accord as well, because of using a newsletter in the society and the social structure of the youth, as among the youth, and which they call is, and also if you see it when we go about it into a small introduction of the society, we see this is a very patriarchal society where the clan is being given through the father, where the father and the grandfather is name, end of the name is being given for the name of the child. So therefore, if a grandfather's name is, say, for example, Kai Hao, the grandson's name will always start with the last syllable of the name. It is what you call as, in sociological, it is what is called as a patronymic. And it is also, every society in the Vaipai village is led by the eldest son, which is called as the Upa. And therefore, but nevertheless, it is also very important for in the society to have a daughter, because then you have both the presence of a son and a daughter together, which is what is called as a chalukim, and which is also important because to create the gender balances in the community. Now, in terms of the culture, the two very important ethos define the society of Vaipais, which is called as Tomgaina and Kiki Khotona. Tomgaina is a term which is in fact you can call it as a philosophy, where you can see that you should always try to strive and give the best and develop the best of your potential, and therefore every society should always work for the welfare. And also Kikotona is also a term of piety and helping us innate sense of volunteering. For example, if you see it, it's also a very common practice among the tribes that whenever they see any misfortune happening, for example, if there's someone who's sick in the society, in the family, even in among the Vaipai community outside the Northeast, it's a common practice to go and visit the sick person in the hospital and also try to render some kind of a financial help, irrespective of the financial status of the person who's sick. So this is a part of the Kithuopina and the Tomgaina, which is part of, again, a very ethos of the tribal society of the Vaipai people. Now, coming to the languages, it's a part of the old Kuki-Chin languages belonging to the Tibeto-Burman branch of the Sino-Tibetan language family. According to the 2011 census, there are around 46,000 speakers of Vaipai native speakers, which is less than even 50,000. But Vaipai as a language is mutually intelligible to other Kuki-Chin tribes such as Thado, Paite, Zo, Mar, and to some extent of Lusais also. Although I personally feel that I am ill-equipped to speak, but many Vaipais do not have that of an issue. It is a tonal languages where a lot of the stress is found on the tone, and I have in fact made a map of the languages of the people where the language, Vaipai language native speakers are spoken. It is spoken not only in this part of the Northeast India, but also in the Chin states of western part of Myanmar, and also in Chittagong Hills in Bangladesh. Now, if we talk about it, the Vaipai Literature Society, it's a society which has started and also introducing, it's a language which has been, it's one of the languages which has been introducing, as in the talks which has shared yesterday, as a part of the MIL languages in Manipur, where you have, it is started in class 9 and 10, where it is called as Vaipai Pao Pagvul Telkhom and Vaipai Pao Suikhom Hitiyu, and also as a simple grammar, which is called as Vaipai Pao Matdan Le Thupok. And also there's another poetry, prose and poetry, which is called as Vaipai Pao Zilna. And also in class 11 and 12, which is also one language is called as Vaipai Pao Matdan Le Thupok. Now, because as you all know, that the Waipai as a community is not, it is numerologically not a very majority community. They have taken a lot of languages from other fellow communities, such as the Métis, which is also called as the Métis Loan, and where I would like to describe certain languages. For example, in Waipai, the kitchen is called as Anbuk, but in it has also taken these languages called as from the Métis, which is called as Taksang, and in the Waipai languages it's called as Tuikul, but now it is called as Pukri. And also if you see it as for example, the chair is called a chutna, but we use the word chauki from Métis, and not only from the Métis languages, but also we have taken certain words from Bengali as well. For example, the use of pen, kolom, which we use is in Waipai, we use as kolom now. So and chini, which is taken from again Bengali, hisab, which is the account, and also alu. Yes.
You have only 2 minutes time.
Yeah. And I will quickly come to the challenges. The challenges is, again, of course, this is a language which is, again, as you all know, it's a minority language, and therefore it is difficult to develop, and therefore in terms of the teaching, learning common curricular. So therefore you see it only in the case of the states of Manipur. And also you also see this, there's a very clearly pronounced absence of trained teachers. In implementing, there's irregularities of funding, non-availability of fund for developing the teaching material, and last but not the least, of course, the challenges of being minority languages, where you are fighting for space, for academic space with English and other majority language like the Métis, which is the state languages in Manipur, and also in other parts of the countries as well. So therefore, this is a small attempt also to understand into the inquiry of the language learning, but nevertheless, it's although despite the fact that it's a tonal languages, the languages which is not used much in terms of the literary world, it's a language which is being kept alive among the community because of the Waipai Literature Society, as well as the different newsletters and religious texts such as the Bible, which has been translated into different versions of Waipai, and therefore among all communities of socio-cultural and religious gathering, this languages is being kept alive. But we don't know in the coming stage of the globalization how much of challenges we are going to face. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you, Lianboy. You could complete in time. Okay, so next speaker is Shruti Tripathi. Next presenter is Shruti Tripathi.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Shruti, please.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you have 10
yes,
minutes.
Yes, ma'am. I'll just quickly share
my screen. Moderator, madam, we have another 5 papers. If Melissa is also presenting, then we have 6 papers.
No, Melissa presented yesterday.
Yesterday, okay, then we have 5 papers, and each paper can be given 7 to 8 minutes.
No, actually, coordinators told me to give 10 minutes, so I am giving, but I'll see, I can reduce it also, but they have informed me to give 10 minutes.
No, I am not restricting you, but I am trying to accommodate all the participants. I am not obstructing, Tripathi ji. Yeah, okay. Carry on.
It's okay, sir.
Ma'am, is my screen visible?
Yes. So, Shruti, you try to complete in 8 minutes.
Yes.
Yes, the chairperson suggested.
All right, ma'am. I'll quickly. Okay. Respected chairperson and lead speakers, Professor Mahendra Kumar Mishra and Professor Saryog Yadav. I am Dr. Shruti Tripathi, working as Assistant Professor in English in Regional Institute of Education, Bhopal. And the topic of my paper today is Language Barriers in Curricular Transaction at Primary and Upper Primary Schools of Tribal Areas of Dhar District of MP, and it is a case study of selected schools. So as from all the discussions that we have had and also listening to the lead speakers, I can say that English language which is taught in schools is mostly taught as a second language. So we could say that whenever a child comes to school, he or she comes with a considerable command over some other language also. So this language is the mother tongue of the child, a language which is spoken at home and in which the child feels the most comfortable. In a school environment where language of instruction is different from mother tongue, the child finds himself in a position which is alien, thereby which increases problems in understanding. As a result, we see that levels of comprehension and critical thinking slowly they start declining. So these hurdles or barriers in curricular transaction, they create a lot of problems, and mostly we could see where we find children living in these tribal belts where language spoken at home is completely different from that which is being used in the school. So this research paper, it tries to highlight these barriers and their impact on curricular transaction, and it also tries to come up with certain remedies for resolving this pertinent issue. So I'll skip these first slide. Now there are certain key terms, and I will not go into the detail. Certain key terms that I have used: home language, medium of instruction, curriculum transaction, and language barriers. So quickly about the tribal profile of Madhya Pradesh, and Madhya Pradesh has the highest scheduled tribe population of 15.3 million in the country. And main tribal groups which are there in Madhya Pradesh are Gond, Bhil, Bega, Korpu, Kol, Maria, and Saharia. And Dhar, particularly these. Hello?
Jaya,
Ma'am, am I audible?
अच्छा ठीक है, अभी कॉल करती हूँ। कॉल करती हूँ।
Dr. Tripathi, you continue.
Okay. So in the more than 50% of tribal population in Madhya Pradesh is located in these districts of Dhar, Jhabua, and Mandala. And Bhil tribe is the highest percentage of population. If we find of the Bhil tribe, then comes the Gond tribe, and the thirdly is the Kol tribe. The district that I have taken for my research is Dhar, and it is located somewhere in the Vindhyachal ranges, which divides the region in two parts. And mostly the tribes that are there are the Bhils, and we have some population of Bhilodi, Adivasi, and Rajput Gadasia. So number of other tribes, but the major tribe which reside over here is the Bhil tribe. Need and justification. So we could say that the Indian Constitution assigns a special status to the scheduled tribes, and scheduled tribes constitute about 8% of Indian population, and there are 573 scheduled tribes living in different parts of the country. This particular term, tribe or tribal, is not defined anywhere in the Constitution, although according to Article 342, scheduled tribe represents any tribe or tribal community that are notified by the President. The objectives of my study are to identify the home languages of children studying in primary and upper primary schools of tribal dominated districts of Dhar and MP, to study the difficulties faced by scheduled tribe children of the study area, and to suggest measures to overcome the language difficulties faced by the children belonging to scheduled tribes. These are the research.
Shruti, you can come to the
questions. Hello?
You can.
Yes.
You can come to the.
All right, ma'am. So this is, I would say, the analysis. If I compare the home language and the school language, I found that there were no students who spoke only one language, either Hindi or Bhili. There were around, if you see on the graph, so in class 1 and 5, so this is the primary data from primary classes. So 32% children spoke Hindi and Bhili. And so the maximum students who were speaking two languages, and the languages were Hindi and Bhili in both class 1 and 5. And if I go to the upper primary, again, the largest population was again Hindi and Bhili. Students spoke, 32% were speaking Hindi and Bhili in class 6th, and in 8th, 58%. And if we saw that which were there among the students, so the highest percentage was given to grammar, and most of the students found faced difficulties in grammar, then comprehension, then reading and writing, and then speaking. And and the same applies to upper primary also. 70% students face difficulties in studying grammar. Then the teachers, when we spoke to the teachers, we also gave them an interview schedule, and they gave their responses. We could conclude that most the teachers felt that 34% had improper pronunciation, vocabulary problems 27%, and likewise these were the problems that, or language difficulties, we found. And the teachers, they were in classroom transaction. More teachers said it was 83% who were using both the home language and the school language in class 1, 75% in class 5, and if you see in the higher classes, it